Yo, what's the vibe? This is Nico, and this is the first episode of What's the Vibe, a show dedicated to vibe coding and vibe coders. I'm Nico, I'm a developer. I've been learning programming and using programming for more than 20 years now, and I just started to embrace the vibe coding stuff. So I want to talk to you about things that are happening in the vibe coding world, and this is starting right now. I don't know what you were doing this weekend, but you probably missed the biggest opportunity to hack. Lovable was running the AI Showdown over the weekend. It's a competition to build on top of 3 models that they give away for free. They were giving you access to OpenAI, Gemini, and Anthropic model. Normally, they use their own model or their own package model, but in this case here, you were able to pick which one you wanted to use for your project. Thousands and hundreds of thousands of people started and built different things. This is the end result here, where you see the performance of each model. But me, I would like to share with you my experience over the weekend and what I tried to build. And for the best comparison, I'm going to use actually a project that I started before having access to those models. I called it Vibe Checker. The whole idea is to help vibe coders to check how their website, their app is performing and if it's ready for launch. Which means we're going to check SEOs, we're going to check Open Graph, we're going to check favicon, we're going to check load speed, and a bunch of other things. This is a project that I started a few weeks ago already, and this was using the main Lovable thing. Now, what I did was starting a project and giving the same prompt to the 3 different models. Let me show you what we had. So for a prompt, I just gave a basic description of the app. Help me build a project called Vibe Check to help vibe coders build a better website and apps. It will run some checks to ensure that they're ready to launch. High-level data should be only shared with non-logged user, and logging will give you access to a full report. I wanted to have a 2-step process. We are a fun and quirky brand, and way to give an idea on this was to say we're like surfers, Californian vibe, right? This is the result I got with Gemini, with Google. I think it did the job as a landing page, but it fell short on the branding. I don't know what you think about this. I also had another result with Anthropic, and it failed right away in the first time I tried to run it. This is unusual. Normally things work right away, but there were a lot of users on the same thing, and sometimes the server could be overloaded. So I'll say it was just a glitch in the matrix at this time. It took 2 and 3 iterations on the prompt to fix those issues. And at the end, we got a good landing page that gave us a good start. Again, on the branding, it didn't really match. Finally, I give it a chance to OpenAI, and this is the result we got. Clearly, a bit more into the vibe that I was looking for. It's using emojis, it's using a bit of colors. Questionable, it might not be properly accessible, with something we need to check, and it's probably going to pass the test that we want to run here. But at least it got the basic understanding that let's make this interface simple, an input, button, and an example of the report we can check. We only had to give it some advice on which type of emojis we want to use, and also how we wanted to have the interface. At one point, it was like very small input and a big button. I asked him to change that to something better. I was not paying for the token, I was not paying for the messages, so I was taking full advantage of every single modification. As you can see here, I'm just saying make the input large. Also wanted to make this as easy as possible, where people don't have to put the HTTP and www. Turns out that becomes complicated afterwards, so we revert back from this. And in the end, right now, all the checks are mock-up checks. Compared to the first version that I built with Lovable directly, it didn't pick on the tests that I wanted to run, and it didn't try to implement them. And then even when I said, let's make some real tests without using the mockup, it didn't create the functions, it didn't create anything like this, and it didn't have the knowledge of using the page inside API from Google, for example, or the Mozilla. Mozilla has something similar, and so in the end, it was not as powerful for just the first test. Now, I also tried to do something that I haven't done here, which was, as I already had a project, I could link it to my Supabase and say like, well, the database is already there, do something with it, and like try to push information to it. But then it got lost, honestly, in all the things that it could do. And in the end, it's still mock-up data on the short amount of time I had to build this. My recommendation here is, I think, if the first iteration you get from the first prompt is not good, just start again. Don't waste time trying to fix something that is broken on the wrong foundation. Second thing is to use chat. A lot of the things that I built was using chat, where I can like double check that it had all the good stuff in mind, and also correct when it was wrong, or give some edge cases of like, oh, you didn't think about this. How should you fix this? And yeah, and then finally, probably one thing that I should have done differently, and I think that worked better when I was using Lovable, is here I didn't use the PRD or the prompt enhancement that Lovable offers, where it lays down a clearer plan of things to do. Whereas in the first vibe check project, this is exactly what it had. It showed every single different steps, and it helped build the first stuff. So I hope this gives you a full perspective on what happened over the weekend. There are many other projects out there. I can't wait to see what other people have built. If you're interested by Vibe Check, that may become a real project. I'm very curious to learn from you if you think that's valuable for you as a vibe coder, as a indie hacker. Let me know which type of tests you want to run, and if you have any suggestions of APIs and tools I should use. I'm also probably going to run some other videos around vibe coding. This is a first attempt, but I'm sure we can talk about different topics that I see coming up in Discord or on Reddit. Let's talk about how to handle Stripe payments or any type of payment, talk about authentication, sending email, the base of creating an app. I can't wait to see you out there. Have fun.